I've been doing ediscovery for many years, and an interesting thought came to me recently. What if I had to hide some data from normal ediscovery process? Knowing what I know now, what can I do to hide that data so that it wouldn't be visible during normal processing and review process? Let's talk about that. And the first thing you may be thinking, like, why not just encrypt a partition with some kind of super secure encryption, double password, triple encryption, I don't know, come up with some kind of crazy thing. That's not what I'm talking about. You know, if you have a big encrypted partition, everyone will know that. Somebody will know you have a big chunk of data and you may be forced to give up your password or something like that. What I'm talking about is something like if you watched Breaking Bad, there was an account number that they wanted to keep hidden, and they wrote it on the back of a photograph and they put it in the picture frame. So the picture frame was collected by the police, but no one knew it was there because, you know, it was kind of just in the middle of all the things. So that's what I'm talking about. How can we take a little bit of data, something small that we want to store, maybe bank account information or things like that, and just kind of throw it into our documents so that whoever's looking at the documents would never find it. So I have three ideas. So let's go with the easiest one to more complicated one. The easiest one I'm thinking of is there is this software that can take a picture, like a JPEG, and it can take a piece of text and embed it into that JPEG. And then the quality of the JPEG will suffer because it's going to like replace certain pixels with, I guess, letters or characters from the text. So the picture will look a little bit worse, but you wouldn't be able to tell. And then you can use same software at a later time, point to that JPEG and extract that information out. Now, I can't see any way in our current ediscovery process that data that's hidden that way would be discoverable. So that's my easiest approach to this. My next approach takes advantage of the fact that we generally skip system files and anything that looks like system. In fact, anything that looks like it's a computer generated generally gets thrown out. So here's my idea. Let's say I want to hide some bank accounts or maybe a few names or addresses or something like that. Well, what I can do is I can create an INI file. An INI file are those system files that people used to use before registry to store program settings. In fact, we still use NFO files, which is similar to INI for the drivers. So what if I make one of those files, or in fact take an existing one, and the way the file looks like, it's basically like a key-value pair. You know, you have some kind of name of the device, and then there is equals to what the device it is, and so on. And if I just add some of my own values to it, now, only I know which values I've added, I know which file it is, I would save that into somewhere Windows system folder where other similar files exist, and as far as I can tell, that information will never be discovered. Even if it comes up as a search hit, somebody will look at it and they'll see, oh no, it's an INI file, this is system, this is junk. In fact, it'll most likely get filtered out by forensics early on. So that's my other idea. My third idea is technically more complicated, but it's not that hard to pull off. And it takes advantage of the fact that all the Office files, like Word, Excel, and such, they're actually zip files. And the thing about zip files, as soon as you change any single byte, you do anything with it, they become corrupt. So what if we just take a Word document, put some text into it like a normal file, and then we would just sort of cut it in half and just swap the parts around and save it. And then anytime you want to read it, you just read it kind of backwards, put the parts together, and they open just fine. But anytime anybody would try to process the data, it would come up as a corrupted file. And then the tech person would double click on it and say, oh yeah, this is corrupt, exception, and move on with things. I think this would also go past all those different procedures we have for Office files or any kind of QC procedures. I do want to address one thing that will not work, and some people will probably be tempted to comment, is faking hash values. While it's true you can generate a file with the hash value you want, it only applies to MD5 hashing, and basically what you would have to do is create your real file and then make a dummy file and generate, so it generates the same hash value. But that's not practical because it takes a lot of resources to create it. Also relies on the the fact that processing software has to use MD5 hash algorithm, and that file has to come first, to be processed first, so that the real file gets deduplicated out. So trying to fake a hash value is not a thing that is gonna work. So let me know what you think about my ways of hiding data from ediscovery, and suggest your ways in the comments section below. Don't forget to follow on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you on another video.